Hey everybody, it's Julie with Stitches of Love Quilting, and I am here stitching on the Billy Bob, the U-Troop. I don't have any stabilizer.
I'll go get it. Introduce yourself to everybody and tell us about what you're going to teach us.
Let me show you Billy Bob. Let's see if you can see him right here. He is the little sheep for the month of September. He's got a little pencil and his apple because he's going to school. And he's got his cute little tennis shoes on. Those little orange striped socks or whatever. He's got fancy shoes. At any rate, I'm going to show you how I stitch on this. I'm using a blanket stitch, which is, I've got mine set to the distance between the stitches 1.5 and the stitch width is 2.5. That's as small as this particular machine goes. And I'm using this machine today because a lot of people have machines this same size. Now what I've just done is Brittany brought me a piece of Tear Easy stabilizer from Sulky that I'm going to use underneath this. I'm sorry for the camera moving, you guys, but I'm trying to get really close so you guys can see what's happening.
I'm excited to watch her stitch, Mom.
You are?
Yeah, so we have the camera set up where y'all can watch her stitch the whole time.
So I'm showing you this right now because a lot of people have trouble with scallops and curves. So that's what we're going to start on today here.
Hey Sandra, how are you?
Okay, so here we go.
And everybody, as you're joined, slap some love onto the post for Mom. Give her some hearts so she knows you're excited to watch her stitch. And hopefully you'll get a lot of tips in this video. It's going to be nice and quick. All the tips that Mom always loves to share.
Okay, so you see I came around the curve and I'm come into a point here. And I believe it's going to jump in. Yep, there we go.
Oh, perfect.
So nice little jump in. You want to keep your needle right at the edge so that your needle goes in right at the outer edge of the scallop or the applique piece that's fused down. That's why it's so nice to have them fused because it really, that little tight bond there makes it so much easier.
And hey Noreen, hey Lila. Hey, Rosie. Oh, Rosie's so excited to learn. Oh, and Susan. Hey, Susan.
Hi, everybody.
Susan's getting some Hedgies thread sent to the UK today. Yay.
Okay, so if you can notice what I'm using, I'll just refresh everybody who may not be familiar. I hope this isn't making everybody seasick with this camera.
No, it's good, Mom. Everybody can see your stitching. Do y'all like the camera angle? We're trying to get, where pretty much you see what Julie sees when she's stitching.
See, the camera is attached to my table, so sometimes this machine, you know, all machines wiggle.
It looks good, Mom. Look. See, this is what it looks like for everybody.
Okay.
It looks good.
I'm just worried you're getting seasick.
Hey, Sandra, how am I? I'm doing good. How are you doing, Sandra? Mom's tips, they really are helpful. Aren't they helpful? I think so, too.
Oh, good.
Mom thinks it's boring to watch her stitch, but I know y'all are going to love it, so I'm kind of making her do it.
And I'm stitching this in black just so everybody can see the stitches. You know, I think on the quilt I did the color that matched. And that's something you can do with your applique. You can use really whatever color you want.
Hey, Dolores, how are you? And Rosie says perfect view. Thanks, Rosie. See, Mom?
Oh, good.
Everybody loves to get to see you stitch.
Good. Now, you can see I'm using an open toe foot. I think that is extremely important. If you don't have one, get yourself one. A lot of machines don't come with them because, I don't know, I guess they think we're not going to need it. I don't know. But anyway, these, a lot of these little feet are only like $6 or $7. So I actually have spares because I use so many different machines all the time that I'm constantly moving my feet. Now that was not where I wanted it to be.
So have you talked about the push button? So I know y'all can't see Mom's fingers, but she is using a push button to control the stitching instead of the foot pedal. And why do you prefer that, Mom?
Well, the reason I like it is because I feel like I get more control. And you also, if you have a sewing machine that will allow you to set your machine so that it always stops in the down position like this, that's what you really want, because you're going to have to pivot. I know you have probably noticed that I'm pivoting a lot, and that's so that I can keep my stitch coming in perpendicular to the edge of the applique piece. And so if it stops in the down position, it just really helps you to, you don't have to put it down. But I do use my needle up and needle down when I'm taking just little tiny stitches to, like when you start going, even if I put this is actually on the slowest speed for this machine.
Brittany style.
My one machine at home that I was using last night goes even slower than this. It's like, oh, please.
Hey, Mom, we have a really good question from our friend Mary Kimball.
Hi, Mary.
She says, I have a question. I've never used stabilizer before. She's new to applique. Can you explain why it's important?
Oh, my gosh.
That's a great question.
Yes. Okay, Mary, I don't know what you've appliqued before, but when you did it, did you notice that everything laid nice and flat like this is? When I've done it without, or tried to do it in the past without a stabilizer, I can't. Sometimes I have to stop and talk, Brittany.
I know, but on the screen it's like
boring. Well, anyway, a stabilizer keeps your piece, it kind of gives it just more stability to sew into, for the needle and the thread to bite into.
To me, it also, it kind of makes it where the feed dogs underneath aren't going to mess with your fabric. Does that make sense? Am I saying that in a right way?
Yeah. So, try it. I mean, we have this new stabilizer here. I'll show you the back of this in just a second, because we're going to. And if you notice right there, I just held that and didn't allow it to move because it wanted to move a little bit further, but I wanted that larger stitch right there. So now I'm using this machine, which doesn't have an automatic cutter, so that gives me a great opportunity to show you how you can secure your stitches in the back. If you have a machine that will allow you to sort of tack or secure your stitch and then move forward and stitch around your piece and then get to the end and tack, that's wonderful. And and maybe has a cutter too, that's really great. If you have it like this one that doesn't have a cutter, or if you just prefer to have the greater stability with your securing of your threads, you can do this. Do it whether you have this tail, and then you flip it to the back. Can you guys, wait a minute. Can you see this? That's slow.
Yeah, here, look at this.
It's behind me.
And hey, Marcia had a really great point. Stabilizer won't let fabric pucker. That's a really good way to say it.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
Way more concise than we said it. Yeah, it does. It stops it from puckering, and it makes your stitches just lay perfectly.
Okay, so you see that I've pulled the bobbin thread, and I've actually gotten, the thread is coming up in the back. This is my top thread, because I'm using 30 weight in the top and 50 weight in the bobbin.
And Mary says, do you tear away the stabilizer, or do you leave some of it?
I tear it away.
Mom tears away all of it. Don't tell anybody. I get tired of tearing it away and I leave some. But I think on something like a large quilt, it would be important to tear all of it. On a little mug rug or like the zipper bags we make every month, I leave it.
Well, it's still sometimes it's just depends on your stabilizer, but it can be too stiff.
Yeah.
And it's crinkly, or, tear it away.
And this, well, you'll get to see it torn a little later, but man, this tears so nicely without messing up your stitches.
So I'm sure what you noticed I did is I just made 2 little knots there and secured this thread.
Just a smidge.
Oh, I made 2 little knots, secured the thread, and I'm just snip it. And so it's pretty stable now. So when you throw this in the washing machine, it's going to be just fine.
Pam says she can't get her stitches like yours. They're perfect. Pam, I bet you can.
Pam, it takes a little bit of practice, but the more you applique, the better you'll get. I've been appliquing for...
as long as I can remember.
Yeah. A long time. Probably... well, at least 25 years, machine applique. So,
But there's always the cheater way of the embroidery machine, which I personally love.
The embroidery machines are fun. So,
what you going to stitch next for us, Mom?
well, I think I'll go around this little arm.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Now, let me talk about how you decide where to stitch. Like, I started on his pants because they're underneath. Typically, I would have started on his shoes and feet, but I didn't want to because I just didn't want to. I wanted to talk about the scallops for everybody because I've had some questions about scallops. In fact, the smaller the scallop, the smaller you want to make your bite in. So if you have the ability to take your stitch width down to like even a 1 for the bite in, that works really well on teeny tiny pieces like the, can this show?
Yeah, you're
Am I showing this, the pencil? Or, you know, even around his little ear, I might do like 1.5 for the bite in on his ear. So anyway, just change it up a little bit. You don't have to use the same thing.
And it's okay to use different sizes in one block.
Yes. Now, I never go above like 2 or 2.5 for my bite in just because that's how I like the look. I'll never forget we were at a show in Houston one time, and a lady came up to me and she said, I think your applique is pretty, but your stitches are just too small. It needs to be at least a 4. And I was like, okay, thank you.
Oh, that would cover too much.
It goes, to me, that bites in too far. I don't like that. But, you know, everybody can do it how you like. That's the beauty of quilting. Make it your own. Do it just how you like. So, here we are on this little arm of his. And here's another trick, Brittany.
What you need?
Reach over, by my light pad over there, my pencil.
Okay.
If you have something like, particularly if you're stitching in black thread where you know it's going to cover and you're going to have to stitch around something that may be difficult to tell the difference in the variation of the colors, you can take a pencil and just put a little line around it. So then when you're stitching, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Now, this one's not too hard. And don't do it on the gray part, of course, because there's contrast there. But basically, if you're using a fabric where there's no contrast, you can actually take a pencil and put a little mark there so that you can see it better when you stitch. Okay? So now, I'm going to start right up here. Okay? And I know this machine is going to bite in first, I think. If I remember right. You guys, I use so many different machines all the time that
you don't know which one's which.
It didn't bite in. Okay, well, there you go. It took a couple stitches forward. So here we are. So now as I'm approaching the edge, can you guys see the curve of that little sleeve?
Yeah, that looks great, Mom.
Okay, so as I'm approaching this, I know it's gonna bite in next, I believe. So I'm gonna go one more little stitch and then it bites in. And now I'm gonna pivot.
And there's some good tips being shared by all y'all watching. I love it. So Marcia said she likes to practice, or when she was beginning practice, on squares, triangles, circles. That's a really good idea just to get used to the stitching.
Yeah. We always suggest that if you get figure out your stitch length, especially if you get a new sewing machine, you want to figure that out. And even you can try different stitches in your machine. There may be one that you like different than I do. Now, if you guys notice, I can't make this go any slower, but as you've noticed when I do it takes 1, 2, 3 stitches, and then it's going to bite in. That gives me more control, like on those little scallops, and really more control everywhere.
Everyone is loving the pencil tip you just shared. It's epic. I love it.
It's epic?
It's epic. That's awesome.
Well, you know, you got to do what
I
you
actually
can
didn't
do.
know that tip, and how many times have I watched you do it?
Because you probably don't see me do it that much.
And for everybody joining, I know there's a lot of people joining in and watching. Julie is sharing her favorite machine applique stitch tips, and she's stitching on the September block Billy Bob of the U-Troop because it's U-Troop week.
Whoa, big bump. Sorry, guys. That was my fault.
Oh, yeah, Marcia loves the pencil tip. She uses her Fusion pen. Oh, yeah, I love the Fusion pens.
Those are great.
Yeah. I always keep one by me. I like that pen a lot.
I've actually made a mistake once, and I was using that pen to mark, like, facial features on something, and then I pressed it all, ironed it on the thing, and I was like, oh, whoops. Whoops. So there that is, stitched in black. So that's
Here, come up so everybody can see how that looks really good, Mom.
You like it? Okay, so now I'm going to take this and just going to snip it here to get this. I'm not going to, the thing with this, if you do it where you're going to tie your threads off, you get threads everywhere. But, hey, who cares? So.
What are you going to stitch next?
Well, one thing I do, I wish I had the quilt because I can't remember what I did.
Well, you can do whatever you want here.
I could, couldn't I?
Yep.
Okay. On the, these points, I would probably just stitch it in black, a straight line away from it.
Oh, yeah. So show some straight line stitching. I know you wanted to talk about that. Actually, it would be cool, like you talked about before we started filming, is showing the straight lines on the scallop as an option for maybe someone who didn't want to do the buttonhole stitch.
Because you can do what you want. As I said before, it's your quilt. Do it how you like.
Hey, Nancy. She says, good morning from Victoria. I love it that so many people wake up to our tutorials. I think that's so fun.
It is fun.
I know.
Because it's almost, what time is it here?
It's
4 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, it's 4 p.m. here almost. Or no, 4:30 I think here.
Oh, yeah, we were late.
We were late starting today.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys, for the lateness. Okay, so I'm going to show you on the pencil. And not having the pencil pattern, this whole pattern in front of me, and that this is going to get tossed, I'm going to snip this thread out of my way.
If you want an idea of what he looked like.
Yeah, I do. Okay. So, this is a little ironed on, a little crooked, you guys. But anyway.
Hey, now, I'm the one that ironed this.
I know, but see that yellow right there?
I did. But you know what? You can hide it with stitches.
And this little brown stitch
here.
Well,
I was in a hurry. Okay. We were running late, everybody. I had to be quick, like.
So let me just show you another tip. This is part of an applique thing, even though I'm not stitching right now. I'm going to, because that little brown right there is driving me nuts. That's just never going to be covered with thread. Sometimes, like if you see on this side of the pencil, when you stitch, even if you were using dark brown thread or this black, when you make your thread there at the 30 weight, it's going to cover fill in that little area basically with the thread. But this is going to be sticking out no matter what you do.
How you going to fix it?
I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to whack it off. So,
This is a great little thing.
See, you can kind of fold it. It's not super stiff on here. And I'm just going to take these scissors and go like that.
Oh, look at that.
Now that's gone. Now what I would do, and since, just a second, I happen to have an ironing board right beside me, I would, because that lifted up.
Fill in. Woo.
I would press that down to make it adhere.
Marcia said she is loving the bombs, the applique club, the gnomes, and the hedgies. That's fun. That's a lot of stitching.
Yeah,
and Nancy,
busy girls.
Oh yeah, Victoria, Australia is where Nancy is.
Oh my goodness. That's a long way away.
So what you stitching?
So, I'm just showing how that's...
Oh wait, they can't see. Go up. There you go.
So see, that's improved. I can cover this little bit with my thread when I come down. And really, ideally, I would whack that little bit of that. I'm being really picky, but that's how I am.
Yeah, I'm feeling really bad. I shouldn't be allowed to iron.
No, I was making you rush, and it was my fault. So don't worry. But what I'm going to do, I'll stitch this with a
straight stitch or a buttonhole?
Because it's yellow, I would really like it with a yellow buttonhole, but I don't want to change threads.
Well, right now it's the contrasting thread shows everybody. You can see the stitch really well on the screen.
And also for accent, because pencils have lines, I would probably draw.
Well, I just want to say you didn't do that on the real quilt.
Where's the eraser? We never gave him an eraser.
It never got an eraser.
Amy didn't give him an eraser.
No eraser. And you didn't give it accent lines on the quilt, so it's also not in the embroidery files.
Well, if you want to, here's how you do it.
That's true. You can always add and customize it to what you want on it, which is fun.
Yeah. So when I'm doing accent lines like this, and maybe I would give this one Oops, I'm a bumper girl.
Go up just a little.
You could put accent lines on this little band around,
You straight stitched it. Fun fact. But show us some stitching, Mama.
This is Amy's pencil.
I promise.
Pencils don't have bands down there.
Well, this is where it was, on the quilt and everything.
I never noticed till just now.
You made the first quilt.
Well, it's her design, so anyway, that I would probably put down here if,
Well,
like a real pencil.
it's a little late for that.
Yeah. Here's where it is. Amy and I take liberties with things. We just make them how we want. I mean, like,
they're
for instance,
whimsical.
have you ever seen a sheep holding an apple and going to school?
I was going to say. But that's what makes it fun. Don't y'all enjoy stitching this?
Okay, so I have taken this straight stitch down to a 1 because I want it to be a really definitive line. And this is just for the accent stitch, you guys. A lot of times I go back and do it again because see how I buried off of my line, so sometimes I'll go just on the opposite edge where the needle pokes in on the other side, if that makes any sense, of where of the previous stitching is what I'm trying to say. So that's really dark, but it's just so you can see. I would do this in yellow, people. That's what I would do.
We're using black thread so that everybody can see the stitching really distinctly in the video. I kind of want you to make his face.
What does his face look like?
I'll show you. Just a little nose and a little smile.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Bring it back.
Here you go. Get up in the screen. Everybody wants to see you. Here's some freehand drawing because we didn't mark it while it was on our light pad. Oh, look at that. See, that's when they come to life. Don't y'all think, once you get the little faces? I love it.
Does he have eyes?
He does.
Oh, right there. If I'm doing one of these little guys, even though I know I maybe do his eyes with a French knot, or if they were going to have buttons, I can't stand it if I don't do them with a pencil. Because it's just creepy if they have mouths and noses and no eyes. To me, it's like, okay, little dude, whoever you are. Santa Claus, I've been doing a lot of Santas lately. Santa Claus had to have his little eyeballs or else I couldn't take it. Okay. So we're just going to follow along that line, and we're going to use our needle up, needle down so that we can curve around this real well.
See, I think this is helpful. So kind of like you do with the buttonhole stitch, you pivot here with your needle down as well.
Now, if you're a really good sewer and can follow lines at a faster rate and a speed, don't pivot, because you can turn it. But I feel like I might get off of my pencil mark, and that would bother me.
That wouldn't be good. Oh, Marsha loves the vampire bag. I love the vampire bag too. I'm using it right now.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like him.
He was fun. The one holding his little frog.
He says,
and his little vampire teeth.
I'll put a spell on you.
We've had a ton of emails about how much people love that, the Halloween design this past month. I think they were really fun.
Halloween
Wait till you all
is
see
so much
this month.
fun.
I think it's very sweet this month for Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes, it is. And it's some sweet little ditzy print fabrics.
A ditzy print? What is that?
Just a tiny print.
Oh, okay.
A ditzy.
Who knew?
There we go.
Oh,
so
look,
now
I love it.
I'm back to the beginning, and again, I would tie this off to the back. But see how nice his little mouth is? Oh, my God.
He's so happy.
Now he's looking like somebody.
That's
Okay.
when, as I always say this, that's when they come to life.
Don't do what I'm doing. Don't just whack it.
Don't just whack it. Pull it to the back.
Pull it to the back if you don't
I
have.
feel like that's like a
If you don't
machine
have a
applique
cutter.
rap song waiting to happen.
We could probably come up with one to the beat of a sewing machine.
But again, people would all cancel if they heard us sing.
Absolutely. Yes. We're not singers.
Kathy says, so cute. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Look at that.
Is
So
everybody
cute.
sewing today?
Yeah, everybody comment what you're sewing on. Oh, Sandra's using the Halloween bag for a Halloween project she's doing. Oh, that's fun. Sandra, you're always up to something fun.
Sandra sent us pictures of her house decorated for Halloween. It looks so cute.
Oh, I love that. Do y'all know what I've been seeing advertised on Facebook is people that come to your house and put up Christmas lights? I'm not going to lie. I really want to do that. Wouldn't that be fun? You don't have to do all the hard work of it.
Well, we're getting where we don't do anything ourselves.
Well, that's so we have more time to sew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Having a housekeeper is great. I suggest that.
So you have more time to sew.
Yep. Okay.
So you're going to do, why don't you show us how you would do a straight stitch on a scallop? So at the beginning we did the buttonhole. Show us how you would do a straight stitch, just in case there's someone who maybe doesn't feel confident enough yet for the buttonhole stitch.
If I'm doing a straight stitch on, and I want to keep using my, first I try to start in an inconspicuous place, which on this guy, if you, okay, take a look at him. Is he out of the picture?
There you go. Now you can see him.
Okay. So if you look, if you start like anywhere, like in the middle of the bottom of his jacket, you're going to have to meet at the end somewhere. And it's not always pretty when things meet. So if you start like up here by his arm, you notice you can go all the way around in one stitch with that. So that's where I would recommend starting. Now when I'm doing this, I do it like 1/8 of an inch away. And you can use your foot. Now see, if you look at this, I'm going to guide the edge of my foot here along the edge of the applique piece. But my needle is way over here. I don't want that. So change your needle position. That's not quite enough either.
So Kathy is making masks, and then she's going to be working on her month 9 gnomes. I love making the gnomes. They're so fun.
Okay, you guys, when you're changing your needle, like on this machine, I don't know exactly where it went. Or it didn't move. It says it moved, but it didn't.
Now it's moving.
There we go. Okay, so I recommend that you check it.
So always have like a little scrap nearby, right? To kind of test.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
and Marcia said she checked into having lights on her house and it was $1,000 minimum.
Okay, never mind.
I hope it's way less than that here in Tallahassee. Because now I really want it.
I think for $1,000, I'd climb on your roof.
Steven can do it.
Okay. They're not really that hard to do.
No, our roof is kind of high though.
Yeah, it is. I guess it depends on your house, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to make this needle start right here next to his little arm. And I'm going to follow along here with the edge of my foot.
And when you do the straight stitch, you keep the same thread, right? You have the 30 weight in the needle and the 50 weight bobbin?
Yep.
I love it.
Now this, you got to kind of just hope you guessed right. Oh, I did. But again, you want to keep your foot just like you do when you're doing regular blanket stitch around here. And you guys too, you don't have to do a blanket stitch. You can do a zigzag. You can do some other wackadoodle stitch that might be in your machine.
What is it called, the one that we're using on the Snow Buddies, where the buttonhole stitch goes on the inside of the fabric and outside of the fabric? You know what I mean? It's like
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
That's
is that
what I
really
call
what
it.
it's called?
No, that's what I call it.
I love that stitch.
Do you guys know what she's talking about?
Actually, if you look at the Snow Buddies tutorial that we posted on YouTube today, you'll see that stitch. I just think it's so cute. I mean, I wouldn't do it like on all pieces, but as like an accent.
And sometimes doing this is really handy for doing tiny pieces. Like on his hat and what have you. When you have these points coming in, you just got to kind of remember where you are.
I don't know about y'all, but isn't it soothing to watch Julie sew? I feel very relaxed right now.
Because you feel like you're a little kid at home.
That's probably what it is. I just need some macaroni and cheese.
Oh, my Lord.
I don't know why that makes me think of when I was a kid.
Yeah, when she was little, if we'd go out to eat, what did she want? You'd say, what would you like for dinner? And she'd say, macaroni and cheese, please. And peas.
And peas.
Macaroni and cheese and peas. Yeah. I was like, ugh.
Now I just want mashed potatoes. Kathy was just thinking that. Susan has a question for the straight stitch. Would you consider using the free motion feet or the darning feet? Then you can draw with your needle.
You can do that if you're good at that. Go for it. Yeah.
So how would that be different? Because I don't know.
Well, the free motion foot is like a little it's for, when you're doing your quilting.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So it's just a different foot. If you're comfortable with that and you're, really good at that, you probably would do great.
That would be cool.
I'm not so, I guess I'm not a real expert at that particularly. Do I really have to go all the way around this?
Yeah, you're almost done. We want to see it.
I'm almost done. Are you kidding me?
Oh, well, just there. Look, you're halfway done. Everyone, cheer Julie on. Cheer Julie on. Marcia says, are you using just regular needles? So they are the Oregon Universal needles, and they're a size 90-14, correct?
Yes.
And I love the little packs of Oregon needles. We have them now, and they're like $3 or $4 for 5 needles. It's a great deal.
But the size of this needle is 90-14, and the reason for that is so that the thread, because I like 30 weight in the needle, it has to have a larger eye to pass through without shredding, basically.
Hey, Julie, another lady from Australia. I love it. All the early birds joining us today. I love it.
So funny to think it's tomorrow there.
It's tomorrow. I know. It's always like a little head trip to me. It's so silly. But then for their perspective, it's yesterday today.
I know. It's really weird, isn't it?
How about this, Mom? You're live today and tomorrow.
Okay.
All at one time.
That's just really
I know
weird.
We're silly every time we think. My in-laws all live in the Netherlands, and when I'm thinking about time, I always think about how funny it is that it's like they're eating breakfast
everybody.
and I'm like going to bed. I don't know why I always find that interesting.
That's why you guys have conversations in your pajamas.
I know. Every time I talk to them on Skype, I'm in pajamas. They must think I just sleep all the time. All right, Julie has a question. Do all of your appliques come pre-cut and with adhesive already on them? Well, yes, they sure do. Yep. They're all pre-fused with Heat and Bond Light. And then we have big industrial heat presses that press them perfectly, so you have the right amount of heat on that Heat and Bond Light. And then it's laser cut to the exact lines that Julie drew.
And the wonderful thing about laser cut kits is it saves you so much time. Now, this guy, what does his jacket do? I can't remember what his jacket does.
Oh,
in the front.
His jacket has one straight line up, right up to like the middle of his face.
Okay.
You want the picture?
Yeah, let me see.
Here's a picture.
Okay. So, all right.
He's going to go up and down?
I would have hopefully drawn this, and I can't really see, so maybe, well, this will probably get tossed anyway. But Nancy, I would, at this point, come up this, to do that accent line. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit.
Nice. Mom, we have some questions for you. Nancy did a dinosaur quilt by hand, and she's now learning to do it by machine would be great.
Yep.
Yeah. And then...
But hand applique is so relaxing.
Oh, this is a fun fact. Since COVID, pajama sales have gone up 400%. Marcia, I didn't know that. I will say that I am supporting the maxi dress industry.
Yeah, just pop
Mom
it on.
and I both.
Yeah, I have a dress on today, guys.
We both have on dresses. That's funny. But yeah, as soon as I get home, I can't wait to have pajamas on.
And one of the nicest things about wearing dresses now, Used to when I was young and you wore a dress, you had to wear pantyhose and a slip and all that jazz. And now people just pop on dresses and you pop it on, no pantyhose. That's wonderful. No slip.
Shawnee says what you're stitching is too adorable.
Isn't it cute? Amy is so talented.
Yeah, for those of you just joining, this is the September block of the U-Troop quilts. And the U-Troop is a collaboration with our friend Amy Brookin. So it's her original line art, and then Mom translates that into fabric and makes the quilt for y'all. Yes, dresses are so comfy. Oh my goodness.
So are pajamas.
And pajamas. I will tell you what's not comfortable, bike shorts. I've recently been riding a bicycle every day, and they have built-in padding so that you don't just die on the bicycle. And it's quite a look, and you feel like you have a diaper on. So I would not recommend bike shorts.
Don't go in public in that.
They almost have like a bicycle seat built into them. It's the weirdest thing. Wow. It's funny.
Too much information.
Too much information. Sorry, y'all.
Okay, so here we are. I actually did make it up to the end.
Yay!
And we sort of killed two birds with one stone because we got the straight line accent on his jacket done.
Oh, he's so cute, Mom. Take a look at him. Oh, my goodness.
See, and then I guess he gets little buttons on his jacket. Is that right?
Little French knots. So if you're doing the embroidery file, we did little circles. And if you're doing it like the classic machine applique, then you can just add the French knots. But all of that can be done with the embellishments at the end as well. Because all the fun little button kits come at the end. Julie has a question. Is it a block of the month club like I'm in with you already? Yes. So this is the U-Troop block of the month. Isn't it cute? Billy Bob. He's the September block. So this quilt has 12 different sheep on it. And it's called the U-Troop. It's super fun.
And let me say this. You know, it's fun to do some hand embroidery on these as well. Like, for instance, on his little collar, I think it would be fun to do like little stitches that look like this with a that you can't really do on your machine. But just a little stitch here, like this.
Almost like it was stitching on the shirt.
Yeah, just like that to me would be a cute little thing. So if you can even use this 30 weight thread and just take 2 strands of it and do that through there. It'd be really cute. But I suggest if you're going to do that, draw your little marks on here. It's much easier than winging it so that you can be certain that your point's going to come where you want it to be.
Would you do the hand embroidery before you iron the piece on?
No, not in this particular case. I wouldn't.
So small.
There are some cases where I would do that.
Like the mini of the month this month?
Yes.
For those of you that are in the mini of the month, there's an extra surprise in the kit this month. Let's pull a thread.
Oh, that. Yes.
Mom's like, what's in there?
Whatever. Okay. So, I guess that's basically all the tips for this little guy. There's, the stabilizer on the back. Do you guys want to see this
show
stabilizer?
us the back.
I forgot who it was that was asking about stabilizer.
Several people had questions about stabilizer at the beginning. So do you want to show tearing some of the stabilizer?
Okay, so you guys, these would have been cut away, neaten up your back before you do all this.
But when you're doing a live.
I don't normally do messy backs like this, but here we are.
But alas.
It's like you guys are seeing us in the reel.
In the reel.
Is that a phrase? Not really, huh?
In the flesh?
Well, no, not in the flesh.
Virtually real.
Seeing how we really act.
Julie loves the apple. I love the apple too. Wasn't that cute?
I like the apple too. Okay, so this is the stabilizer. This is the tear easy. Oh, sorry, I need to tear up there.
Yeah, tear like a little right here. I know the foot's in the way.
It is.
If I move the camera out, y'all, I'm going to have some bumpy camera for you.
Can I be right here?
You can be right there. There you go.
Okay, so first time getting this going, I'm going to tear it like this. But you can see, let me get my hand here. It's much easier when you're not.
When you don't have a camera in your lap?
Yeah, in my face.
But look how awesome this tears.
This tears
really
really
loving
nicely. And, you got to be a little careful when you come into the points. But look at that.
Oh, it's great. Here, come up a little. Did y'all see how nicely that tore away? Oh, I like this.
Now you see this didn't meet right here, so you're not going to have an edge there to do. So when you're tearing this, I just...
Here, let me come.
I would tear as much away as I can. Look at that on the straight stitch, because that was really tiny.
Really good.
It's like, boom. All right, so if you're tearing away on the inside, sometimes I'll just take, it depends on the tear away, but you can just kind of score it with your scissors, make a little snip.
Just always be careful.
And then just come right in. And look, it just kind of pops right out.
Oh, I'm loving this stabilizer.
See there?
Y'all, this is the Sulky Tear Easy, and it's comical. We use all things Sulky. Why we haven't been using their stabilizer, I'll just never know.
And they gave us a sample, and I don't know if I never got around to trying it.
I know, we just never used it. And then how it came to be is I ran out, and I knew Sulky was sending us a ton of stuff, and I was like, pop in some stabilizer. And I'm hooked. Are you hooked?
I love it, yeah.
I really, really do too. So we have it on the website now, because y'all know if we love it, we sell it. If we don't love it, we won't sell it. Yeah, Kathy, we do have it. And I think if I remember right, it's like $14.99 for 11 yards. So
by 12 inches wide.
By 12 inches wide. So in my guesstimation, you could do about 2 quilts at least. Like if you're doing, and what I love, you can use this on your embroidery machine and on your regular sewing machine applique. So you can have just one roll instead of having to have like multiple types of stabilizer. Yeah, it does look nice, doesn't it?
I just gave that a pretty good tug in there, and it didn't distort my stitches. Let's look at them on the front.
Yeah, check it out. This is the real test live.
See?
Oh, look at that. Not a single one moved.
Yeah, isn't he cute? Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, I'm telling you.
Here's a question. Did you use adhesive on the stabilizer? Nope.
No, I just float it, basically, underneath.
Mm-hmm. And pretty much after you do like one piece stitched, it pretty much stays where it is.
Really, you don't have to cut, like this background piece is cut, what, 10 or 12 inches? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I'm sorry. I make one every month.
Wait, here's a ruler.
I think, it's 11 inches wide, yeah.
Yeah, by whatever.
It
13,
needs to be 11
14.
by 11, but I think we give 11 by 14.
Okay, whatever size it is. But you only have to have, you don't have to have it as big as your green background piece. Just put it so it's going to give you some space around the
only where you're
applique
stitching.
where you're going to be stitching, because, sometimes it can shift, so you want to give yourself some little bit of border space.
Hey, Lori, she says, what a cutie. And Nancy has another question. Do you tear all the stabilizer off on your applique? Or do you leave it on?
I tear it all off.
You tear it all off.
I tear it all off. I don't want my quilt to be, super stiff. And see, this is, y'all can't tell because you can't feel, but it's nice and it's not thick.
Yeah.
It's not like stiff as a board or anything.
And that's one of the reasons we like the Heat and Bond Light, too, is that it's not...
It's light.
Yeah, it's not crazy thick or anything like that, but it still adheres really nicely.
See, I'm compulsive about I got to tear it.
Yeah, Mom can't not tear it.
I can't stand it back there.
But man, it sure is doing good on those stitches.
Yeah, and I would normally...
Now, what about this? Would you leave something like this in, or you really take that out, too?
I take that out, too. I just get a little tweezer. But normally, you get it when you're tearing it, but I was trying to hold it in the camera, so I didn't get a good grip. So, anyway, look at there.
I love it.
It works great.
Well, Mom, I think you've really gotten to share some really good tips for all of us.
Good.
I know. And I want to say thank you to everyone for watching and asking questions. It's so much more fun when all of y'all get to chat with us. We really enjoy doing the lives with y'all. Yay! So next time we're live, what is today, Thursday? Tomorrow we're live to finish off the U-Troop week. That'll just be a little mini chit-chat of all the fun things. Oh, and we're announcing the winner of the U-Troop Starter Kit giveaway. So if you haven't gone to our website, stitchesoflovequilting.com, scroll to the bottom where it says U-Troop Week, click on that, and it'll take you to a page that has the link where you can enter to win a giveaway. So make sure you do that if you haven't already. And when you share it with your friends, you get bonus entries. So we're going to announce that winner tomorrow. Yeah. So a little bonus, a little tutorial with Mom, and a giveaway. Everyone's saying thank you, Mommy. Everyone loved your tips.
Oh, good. Well, I'm so glad I can be helpful because I just love applique, and I want everyone else to love it too.
Well, I think you're getting us all addicted.
People used to say, "Oh, applique, that's too hard."
I
It
don't
really
think it's
isn't hard. I do have to say, I think needle turn applique is a little bit tricky.
But if that's your jam and you enjoy it, then
Yes,
it's not hard.
but I mean, learning it is really, it can be
Needle
tough.
turn is where you use the starch on it, right?
No, needle turn, you have the piece cut out and you use your needle to turn it under. Roll it under and stitch. You kind of turn the edge under as you stitch. It's tricky.
Oh,
but
yay! Thanks, Sandra.
This is
Thanks,
fun.
Noreen and Mary and Kathy and Nancy and Marcia and Julie and Lori. Thanks, everybody, for joining. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And I know it scrolls on the screen so fast every time somebody joins. So I'm so sorry. We wish we could shout out to everybody. But if you comment, I promise we'll read all your comments out.
Yeah. So I hope you're having fun with whatever you're working on, and I hope it's applique.
Yay! Happy stitching!
Happy stitching, everybody.